We are joined by a true music icon and legend. I am so thrilled to have him in studio with us today. Booker T. Jones of Booker T and the MGs. He is going to be performing at halftime tonight of the Grizzlies-Clippers game at FedEx Forum. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Wow. So how often do you get back to Memphis?
Fairly often.
Yeah?
Fairly often. I was here a couple of weeks ago out in Bartlett.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I want to start all the way at the beginning, right? So you grow up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then at what age do you start doing music professionally?
Probably 14,
Wow.
13, 14. Yeah, there were studios here, and I got a job playing piano out on Macklemore Avenue. Pretty young.
And you started music at what age? Because they say you're a savant, right? Like, how many instruments can you play?
I haven't counted.
That's a flex. That's a flex.
What's the first instrument you learned how to play?
My mom was mad at me because I was beating my drumsticks on her hardwood floor.
Oh, wow.
And that was not going to work. My grandmother was a piano teacher, so to piano. Okay. But she did go down to Breeze and buy a little ukulele for me. That saved my life, so I was able to play a little four-string, teach myself a little four-string ukulele with the instructions on the back of the box, you know?
Yeah. And so by the time you're 14, you're going to the studio.
That's when I got my first money for playing on some music here.
And then, but at that point, you're still in school.
Oh yeah, I'm at Booker Washington High School. Yeah, I'm a ninth grader. Oh, actually, I'm a ninth grader reporter and a 10th grader at Booker Washington. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When people are, when you're Booker T going to Booker T, I can only imagine. You've got to be the only one, right? I don't think there's probably anybody else that went to a high school that really.
A lot of Booker T's in
there
Memphis.
were.
Oh, absolutely. Not at Booker Washington, but Manassas, Carver. Yeah.
There were a lot of guys.
Oh yeah.
There were a lot when you were growing up. It was not an uncommon name.
No, different last names.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because Booker T. Washington was a hero.
Yeah.
To us.
And that's who your father named you after.
Absolutely.
Okay, so while you're in high school, you're doing music professionally, and at that point, like, very rarely do people figure out what they're going to do in life as early as you did, right?
I'm throwing papers. I'm playing basketball with the basketball team because my dad had a hoop in his driveway. And I'm studying. My grandmother's teaching me. My mother's teaching me where C is. And at church, I'm playing for the men's Bible class. And I'm just a really busy little boy,
right?
At age 13, 14.
And then when is the first break where you think, this is what I'm going to do with my life?
That's a good question. I think it was 10th grade when they said, if you're going to go to college, all the kids have got to come into this room because you got to get ready to apply for your colleges 2 years early. So I had heard Stardust, written by Hoagy Carmichael. And I asked, who wrote that song? Hoagy Carmichael. Where did he go to school? He went to Indiana University. I said, well, that's where I want to go.
Because of a song?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So, and we were playing that in clubs down here and out in East Memphis. And so they said, well, you got to start now. You got to apply. And to get in there, you have to pass a jury. What? A jury. People have to listen to you and talk to you and decide if you're good enough to come to the school. So I got an after-school class with Professor E.L. Pender at Booker Washington to teach me music theory. So I stayed after school, I don't know how many, couple of days a week, 3 days a week, to learn music theory.
Wow.
And the school put in the application, and I went to Indiana, and I passed the jury. I don't know when, I was 11th grader, I guess, something like that.
Right.
I passed the jury. Then I had to get the money.
To go to Indiana?
Yeah, because it was $900, and I was able to raise that with my paper route, throwing the Tri-State Defender and the Press Scimitar, and early in the morning, the Commercial Appeal. That was an early paper.
Yeah.
Big paper on Sunday. So I did all that.
But what a story that you heard a song and asked, where did that guy go to school?
Yeah. And yeah, we have a little picture. My wife has a picture on her phone of me sitting at Hoagy's tribute at Indiana. They made a whole statue for him there.
Oh, wow. Wow. So when you go to school, so even in high school, you're playing shows downtown?
Oh, right.
Where are you playing?
I'm playing the Flamingo Room. I'm playing Curry's Cup Tropicana out on Thomas. And I'm playing out in South Parkway. They were mostly down here on 4th and Beale.
Right around here?
Yeah, at the Flamingo Room.
What the Flamingo Room?
Yeah.
What are the clubs like then?
What is what?
Yeah, what are the clubs like? I'm saying those places where you were playing. What is the Flamingo Room? Obviously, it's been long gone, but like, what are those places like when you're playing there?
Serious music with serious musicians that you couldn't break into the band unless somebody was hurt or died.
Oh no!
That was the only way.
I got into the band. I convinced Willie Mitchell that I could play bass, and his bass player. Well, that's what happened. Somebody got sick. Yeah, Frog got sick at the Flamingo Room, and I was able to get an audition on his sick when he was sick. And
That was the only way you're getting in.
And I played his bass on his stage and got the job. The same thing out at Willie Mitchell's club. But I convinced him that I could play baritone sax, which I could. And his brother was a baritone sax player. So one night his brother couldn't make it, and I got up on stage and was able to show them that I could follow the riffs.
This is what interests me is you're playing these clubs even as a very young man, right? Like you play at studios as a young man. Why go to Indiana? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Indiana,
you were already making money doing music, and yet when you left high school, instead of just staying in Memphis and doing music, you said no. I want to go off and do college.
Well, Indiana was 400 miles up Thomas Street, right through Paducah, Kentucky. I knew the way to get there. And Memphis State didn't have the reputation that Indiana did then.
But you were always going to go to college, and music was going to be after college.
My grandfather insisted that his children and his grandchildren go to college.
Gotcha.
They all did.
Wow.
They all did. All of us did.
All of you?
Yeah, we all did.
How many of y'all was it?
He worked his way out of sharecropping in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and was able to build a school down there. And my grandfather was a force.
Wow. So that obviously had a profound impact on you.
Yeah.
When you're done at Indiana, you just come back home? You come back to Memphis?
Came back to Memphis.
And what happens then?
Oh, Memphis was already happening. There was no flight from Indianapolis to Memphis, and I was just coming back. Memphis was red hot. I mean, there was so much going on. People were coming here, and the studios were hot. There was Phillips, there was Ardent, there were talented people working in with upcoming studios, and Memphis was being born. Memphis was Memphis in the traditional spiritual Memphis sense.
Yeah.
Memphis is not just an eastern city. Memphis is a place where things happen.
Right. And so when you come back, are you just, I can't believe what this, like I left for, to go to Indiana. Now I'm back and look at what has happened and look at all these talented people that, I mean, it's all at one time, right, Booker?
Yeah.
Like they're all here. Like you got the rock people, you got the soul people.
Yeah.
They're all in this city right around the same time, which is just so crazy to think about.
Yeah, and they're not from here. They're from New York. They're from Nashville. They're from Chicago. They're from the from the West Coast. And they're all coming here. They're coming from Florida. They're coming from Georgia. Otis came from Macon. And they're coming here because this has become a hub. And if you got something going on, you want to, you try to do it in Memphis. And the studios were here, and it was hot.
And so at that point, are you thinking, I need to jump on with these groups, right? This is what I want to do. And some of these people, I'm sure you have an awareness of them. Like
Yes.
you see Otis Redding before he's Otis Redding and probably know, I better get with this guy because this guy, when other people hear him, this is going to be something big.
That's exactly correct. I had a hole, and I was not going to let that hole go. I drove every weekend 400 miles straight from Bloomington to Memphis to do the weekend sessions at Stax or wherever I could.
Every weekend.
Yeah, yeah. So I was a sleepy little kid.
Were you catching the flights or trains?
No, he said he drove.
There was no
Driving?
flight from Indianapolis until, I don't know, 69, 70, 68, something like that.
Y'all were
You
driving
had
here
to
every
drive, yeah,
weekend?
up Thomas Street, yeah.
And you're playing studio sessions every weekend. And who are you playing those studio sessions with?
I'm playing with Steve Cropper and Al Jackson and Louis Steinberg for Carla Thomas. I'm playing, her brother's playing piano. I'm playing, like you said, Otis Redding eventually, and the Marquis, the Barquets.
Everybody.
Yeah, Sam and Dave came up from Florida.
Did you know
William
how-
Bell was one of the biggest forces and
William Bell.
one of the biggest influences on me because he was a personal friend, a church friend, and we were close enough that we could write songs together. And he had the hot groups in the clubs here. William did, and Maurice White was a huge influence on me because he had a drum set.
Did you know what was going on when you're in the studio with Otis Redding and you're in the studio with Sam and Dave and they're cutting these songs? Like at the moment, did you know, oh my God, this thing is going
This is
to
a hit.
get,
Yeah, this is a
like
hit.
this is it.
This is gonna be a timeless hit. Did
Yes.
y'all know when y'all picking these
My
songs?
mind is on what's going to lead into this. What is color-wise going to lead into this chorus? What are the chords? What are the notes that are going to be in this chord, according to what he's singing? My head is there, because I'm learning all these arrangement type things.
But when they're
the music
singing,
theory.
aren't you
When
like,
they're sing-
I mean, because we listen to it and we're like, how did the, because some of this, there's so much of it that you were a part of that has stood the test of time. It does not blend in with anything else, right? If you hear some of those records, right, you hear Sam and Dave, you hear Otis Redding, you hear Carla, like, you know exactly who that is, and it might be 50 years later, right? At the time, though, it's like I'm just focused on my job, and you don't have an awareness, oh, this is special.
It's a give and take, and everybody's pretty much in the moment inside the studio. I don't think any of us is really outside, and we're giving signals, musical signals to one another. Otis may be singing horn lines to the horn people, and we're following one another and leading one another at the same time, and we all have a sense of being part of a whole.
Right. And that as that's all going on, at what age? Because I found two different articles. They both told me different things about when you first put together Green Onions. How old were you?
So that was the spring of 1961 or 1962, and that must have been 16. And we were trying to come up with a song for a band that was at Stax, and somehow the session didn't work out. So we had free studio time, and so Green Onions was a riff that I had pretty much come up with in Dr. Pender's music class. He was teaching us the relationships between notes, frequencies. What is a third? What is a fourth? What is a fifth? What's a seventh? How do you hear it? Where is it on the keyboard? Where is it on the guitar? What is it? So in his class, we changed the major third to a minor third, and that's what this town was based on, the minor third. That's where the blues is basically, the minor third. Same thing.
Right.
Same thing. It's just the minor third is the story of the blues.
How do you, so this is pre-college when you first write that.
Yeah, I was just out of high school. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the most famous instrumental song, like outside of like Mozart or whoever,
it's
right?
one
Like
of-
my kids are 15 and 12, and I played that song, and both of them knew it.
Oh, that's great to hear.
And they're 15 and 12.
That's
I
great
said,
to
have
hear.
you ever heard this song? And they were like, I know that song. I'm like, everybody
Everybody
knows
knows.
that song,
Like,
right? Like
Everybody knows it.
knows, whether it's from commercials, it's just been omnipresent for so many years. How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal at that time? And why is there no vocal?
By accident.
Wow.
Wow.
By accident.
Wow.
The people at Stax, Jim Stewart and Steve Cropper, thought the song that we recorded for the B-side, which is called Behave Yourself, was the song to release. So we recorded something to go on the B-side of Green Onions, and it's called Behave Yourself. And it's a typical Beale Street blues. You know, it's what you learn to play with every act. You took 12-bar blues, which is St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans. Every musician knows what the 12-bar. He knows what the changes are. He knows it in every key. So da 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 da. So we recorded that, and Steve took it down to WLOK to say, oh, you know, we have a new record, and it's, you know, we've named ourselves Booker T and the MGs. Would you play it? And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the song on, and I guess while Steve was there, they played it again, and he put the wrong side on. He put the Green Onions by mistake and played the B-side instead of the A-side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
Oh, my, what an
So it happened on
insane
mistake.
story.
I guess it was Bill at WOK. Yeah.
And somebody said, what is that?
Yeah.
And
became a
Steve
hit.
probably said, that's not the song I'm trying to play.
I wasn't sure.
Not that one, not that one. They're like, no, we like that one.
Exactly. That's not the one you look. Oh yeah, I forget.
A mistake became a timeless hit. That is insane. For you,
What
when
an
you
incredible
hear it
story.
sampled in songs like that, how does it make it? When you hear it in rap songs, like y'all's music, when you hear it in rap songs or anything else, how does it make you feel? Like as far as like the sampling and everything like that.
Well, the rap song brings the political into it, and so it has to have the minor third because we know what the political is.
I feel you. Because I hear it
So-
everywhere. Everywhere.
You have to.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to. Obviously, just a moment on, we're sorry for your loss with Steve, right? That was, 2 days ago that we lost Steve, and that was like the band now, right? You look around, and obviously, I'm so happy to see you in such good health right now. But if you can, just tell us about Steve. And, I mean, what a crazy story that he's the
yeah.
one you bring up, right?
Yeah, he was probably the hardest working employee of Stax Records. He opened the doors, and he was the last one at work. And he was a very intuitive and talented guitar player. So you could speak to Steve musically, and he could understand what you were talking about. So what we basically had was a conversation, a long 6 or 7 year musical conversation on the instruments. So it wasn't just words like what we're using, it was feelings and emotions, so we were able to communicate on a special level.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to explain.
Yeah. After all these years, you have played with no lie, thousands and thousands of people. Has there ever been a time where you were playing, whether it was a show or wherever, and whoever was singing in front of you, where you were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I can't believe the performer that actually wowed you?
Wow, that's a big question. I've had many moments on stage. You know, my mind goes to Sinead O'Connor.
Really?
Yeah, it goes to her because we were in New York doing a thing for Bob Dylan, and we had rehearsed a beautiful song for her to do for the show, and she got on stage and to a not so welcome, and she lost it. She just completely lost it. So it's not what we played, but what we didn't play, what we didn't do. And one of the most beautiful pieces that I thought I'd ever been involved in didn't get recorded on national television.
Was this after the Saturday Night Live thing? And so they did not.
And she just completely lost it. Everybody backstage was concerned. And eventually Chris Christopherson came out on stage and picked her up, physically picked her up and took her off the stage.
Oh my God.
So that was the gravity of that moment in New York on, I think it was a Bob Dylan special.
Wow. And that one, like, when you're parts of millions of performances, right? Sometimes in the dive bar, sometimes on the biggest stage possible, there's only going to be so many that you really, that stand out to you, right?
I had been so excited for her to sing this song for this audience because we'd worked so hard to prepare it, and it was so beautiful.
What song was it? Do you remember? Is it a Dylan song?
But there was a strong political reference, and
Times are changing.
no, it wasn't that.
It wasn't knocking on heaven's door.
My memory is not what it was.
Right.
81 years old. But I do remember that moment as being one of the most touching moments on stage. And everyone was touched. And so now, of course, she's gone. We lost her.
Are there any other performances that you'll remember forever? As long as you're on Earth, you're going to remember I was a part of that.
Yeah, it's, when Otis when he came from Macon here, he was the driver for the band Johnny and the Pine Toppers. Yeah, that was his job. And
Johnny and the Pine Toppers.
Yeah, and we were out on the street, out on Macklemore Avenue, and he carried everything in because that was his job. He was the roadie, and he sat down next to me at the organ, and he wanted to sing, and he started singing "These Arms Are Mine," just right to me, like.
No.
So then everything changed. Everything changed.
Wait.
Yeah.
Does anyone even know he can sing at the time?
Otis Redding. No, he's a.
I know he's a driver for this band, but
he's the one carrying luggage and
Yeah, but do people know he's an aspiring artist, or is he an aspiring
we're
artist?
There and he's singing this stuff, and Steve's over there at the piano, and it's just us in the studio, and Steve starts playing these triplets, and Otis Redding is born right there in that minute.
Did Johnny and the Pine Toppers know he can sing?
I'm not sure about all that.
I mean, imagine your driver is like Otis Redding, and did he care about being a musician? Is that why he was getting involved with Johnny and the Pine Toppers, or
I think
was it just a job?
Just trying to make a living, or maybe just shrewd. I'm not sure. But it worked.
You think?
Yeah, it worked for sure.
Yeah, it worked, and he was dynamic, and that was a moment. That was a moment, and there we were. And so I think that was the first song we recorded with him.
These Arms Are Mine.
Yeah, and Steve's not even playing guitar. He's playing triplets on the piano. Just because we were just messing around, waiting for the band to load in.
I mean, come on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. You're going to be performing at halftime of the Grizzly game tonight. When you think of Memphis, what do you think about? Right? We obviously all have a tremendous amount of civic pride, and over the years we find ourselves defending ourselves against the perception of Memphis, whatever the case may be, from those on the outside, and we love it here, right? From somebody who was birthed here and became, Booker T out of Memphis, and so many of these people, and you experienced a different Memphis than we did, or than we do even currently today. But when you think about Memphis, what do you think about?
Well, I felt it flying in this last time.
You did.
An exclusive musical birthright in this city, in this town, is here. And it has always been here, and if you're sensitive, you can feel it. It's Memphis, and it's musical birthright. And they say that Memphis, Egypt is like that also, but it's here, whatever the name is. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I was born here. I was fortunate, and anybody that's close to that type of energy is fortunate.
Unbelievable.
What does Booker T think about the current kind of R&B soul kind of landscape right now? Because there's a lot of artists right now that are trying to emulate, not fully emulate what y'all did back then, but they want to take that nostalgic sound and kind of create what they have now. So how do you feel about the music now? Kind of the soul music now.
Well, I think they should go for it because it's an eternal gift to the world, and there's no reason it should ever die.
Things come back around.
They come back around.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's looking for that soul sound now, man. Like the Leon Thomases of the world, the Wales of the world. Everybody wants that 60s, 70s, 80s sound, because that's all I listen to. So
Melody, harmony,
Yeah.
so many of
Real
the things
instruments.
that kind of went by
Okay,
the
no, I get what
wayside
you're saying.
always make their way back, right?
Was I Believe in You, the Bob Dylan song.
I can't hear him.
I
Who's
believe in you. Was that the name of the Bob Dylan song? Possibly.
Sinead O'Connor.
I believe that was it.
That-
Yeah.
At the
that was it.
30th anniversary.
Oh, he looked it up.
looked it up.
Google's
King-
amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even the rehearsal was extraordinary. The rehearsal was an extraordinary performance because she was an extraordinary performer.
But when she walked out, they just booed her.
Oh, she couldn't do it. She didn't have the strength to do it. Yeah,
oh man,
Unbelievable.
it was pitiful.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. I believe in you. Yeah.
That's great. Man, it's been such an honor to get
Oh,
to
thanks
have you
for
in
having me. I've
studio,
enjoyed talking
for you
to
to come
you.
in here. And I can't wait to see you at halftime. A man 81 years old still performing.
Have you ever interviewed anybody as old as I am?
Yes, of course. For goodness sakes.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. It's been great.